It's a lovely Wednesday afternoon on the 27th of May 2026 and you are watching Crown TV Midday News. I am Joy Mwinuka. We'll go straight into the headlines. Residents storm Northwestern provincial offices for dairy farmland dispute. 29-year-old TikToker Waimi has been sentenced to 2 years imprisonment with hard labor. Zambia set for record maize harvest crop forecast hits 4.9 million tons. And in sports news, McCarthy insists Kenya won't relive 8.0 nightmare against Bafana in AFCON 2027 qualifiers. Thank you so much for tuning in, and now the news in detail. Over 200 residents squatting on dairy farm land stormed Northwestern Provincial Administration offices to air out their grievances over land dispute between them and dairy farm owners. The affected residents were given a 3-month notice. Eviction notices will come in effect before August 2026 as they are now being classified as illegal settlers. And Northwestern Provincial Permanent Secretary Colonel Wishikoti Katambi says the government is going to call for a meeting between the two parties to iron out pending issues regarding the matter. More in this report.
More than 200 residents of Solisi's Kialalankuba area are facing eviction from dairy farm after receiving notices to vacate the land. The settlers say they bought 30 by 30 meter plots at 15,000 kwacha each back in 2017 and were issued with what they believed were valid documents at the time.
The reason why we are here is not to seek sympathy against the law. We are here to seek the attention of Permanent Secretary to make sure that the council, they act within the law. And we have the question, is the council mandated to act as an agent? So meaning even me when I have tomato, I can involve council to sell my tomato on my behalf. Why should the dairy farm engage the council to sell land on behalf of dairy farm?
Now, the farm owners have given them less than 3 months to leave. Failure to vacate, they warn, will lead to demolition of all structures before August 2026.
We bought the land from the dairy farm, closer relative, and we have all the papers that we have. We have all the papers from the dairy farm company. So now, the issue which is there, the dairy farm would have signed a memorandum of understanding with Solwezi Municipal Council, so that Solwezi Municipal Council can start now selling the same plot that we bought with our money, to start reselling the same plot at a higher price of 80 kwacha per square meters.
Frustrated, the affected residents stormed the Northwestern Provincial Administration offices to air their grievances.
As government, we have requested them to come next week so that we're able to resolve this. And this has been done after listening to them, and we feel strongly so that we're able to actually resolve this.
Mr. Lumba says many are questioning whether they have any reason to vote if government cannot protect them.
In 3 months, where can that woman there, she's failing to work in the first place, where can she go and look for piece work for her to raise that money in 3 months and pay dairy farm company? So please, those people, it's like they have gone very far. And they are trying to decampaign our president. Let our president come in and check on these people. Failure to that, then these people, they are not going to vote. They are not going to vote because they have got issues that is paining them too much.
The dairy farm owners maintain the land was invaded illegally and have reiterated that eviction exercise will proceed as scheduled.
Then ba council ba bwera batwera nkito kuba dairy kuba mbate babetu kataje na ye condition ya minafu eno kwende pina kuyanaoke ba 150 yoba mpingura.
For now, more than 200 families wait for a solution as the August deadline approaches. Patrick Mackay, Crown TV News, Solwezi.
A 29-year-old TikToker, Francis Kapwepwe, popularly known as Waimi, has been sentenced to 2 years imprisonment with hard labor on 2 counts of hate speech. This follows Kapwepwe's admission of guilt for publishing insulting videos on his TikTok account called Waimi, the Lion of the World, in which he directed hate speech against the president, vice president, Chief Mukuni, and the Tonga-speaking people. Anna Mwila now reports.
Could this be the beginning of a genuine transformation for a social media personality? A 29-year-old Francis Kapwepwe, popularly known as Why Me, or it is simply another chapter in the life of a man whose online identity has been associated with insults, disrespect, and unfiltered remarks? These are the questions now surrounding the outspoken TikToker after the court hands down a 2-year custodial sentence with hard labor for 2 counts of hate speech. For nearly a year, Kapwepwe's case has dominated conversations both online and inside court corridors. It all began with inflammatory videos and insults directed at President Hakainde Hichilema, Vice President Mutalena Lumango, and the Tonga-speaking people. The remarks that sparked outrage, political debate, and eventually criminal prosecution. What followed was a dramatic legal battle marked by allegations of hiding outside the country, failed attempts to secure bail, emotional court appearances, and repeated complaints by Kapwepwe himself that the trial has taken way too long. At one point, he openly told the court that the prolonged proceedings made him feel as though he had been already convicted before judgment. But on the day of sentencing, before Lusaka Principal Magistrate Ida Piri, the once defiant online figure appeared transformed. Gone was the aggressive tone and combative posture that had defined much of his public image. In its place stands a visibly emotional man pleading for forgiveness and mercy. Court proceedings began with the state presenting evidence to prove that Kapwepwe is a second offender. Florence Kunda, a 52-year-old senior clerk of court from the Livingstone Magistrates Court, has produced records relating to previous matter in which Kapwepwe had been convicted on 2 counts of hate speech again and sentenced to 12 months imprisonment with hard labor, with the sentences running concurrently in 2024. The court has admitted the records without objection from the accused and formally recognized him as a second offender. During mitigation, Kapwepwe has pleaded for forgiveness from President Hakainde Hichilema for all the remarks he has ever made against him. He asked the head of state to view him as a child who has lost direction, adding that he had come to realize that President Hakainde Hichilema was not the person he had been made to believe. He has also apologized to Vice President Mutalena Lumango, referring to her as a mother figure, and ought for forgiveness from Chief Mukuni, who to him he describes as his grandfather. Kapwepwe went to ask for forgiveness from the Tonga-speaking people across the country, saying he has now realized that they are peaceful and forgiving people who do not promote segregation at all, unlike what he alleged in his videos. He has also further apologized to all Zambians and to the Bemba community, saying he regrets bringing shame upon his own tribe. The convict has pleaded with the court to spare him another prison sentence, saying incarceration has changed his life after witnessing sickness, suffering, and death among inmates where he is. He has also told the court that his health has deteriorated and insists that he has been transformed during the time he's been in custody. However, in delivering the sentence, Magistrate Ida Piri notes that although the convict deserves credit for pleading guilty and serving the court's time, the offenses before court are serious and could not be treated lightly in a multi-ethnic country such as Zambia. The magistrate describes the statement as inflammatory, degrading, and dangerous, warning that such language has the potential to damage peaceful coexistence and fuel tribal hostility, particularly because the remarks made during a politically sensitive period approaching the elections in that year. The court further observes that despite previously being convicted for a similar offense, Kapwepwe had failed to transform, adding that the growing culture of harmful and divisive online content is becoming a danger to society. Magistrate Piri stresses that while political freedom and freedom of expression are protected in Zambia, they should never be used as tools to insult, humiliate, or degrade others. after balancing the mitigatory factors against the seriousness of the offenses and the need to clear similar conduct. The court has sentenced Francis Kapwepwe, popularly known as Why Me, to 2 years imprisonment with hard labor, effective the 2nd of June 2025. And considering that it's almost 2nd June 2026, where he will clock a year in custody, you will have to serve an additional 1 year for him to be released. For Crown TV News, Anna.
The Lusaka High Court has ordered the Forum for Democracy and Development FDD Secretary General to hold a fresh party convention in line with the party's constitutional requirements. The court has further restrained the Secretary General Nathan Mulonga and others from continuing his conduct, any party activities or implementing any party decisions. The details.
Despite the electoral process already advancing to the campaign stage ahead of the 13th August 2026 general election and the court subject, Brian Munduvile already successfully filed as a presidential candidate under the National Restoration for Peace and Prosperity Party, the Lusaka High Court has ordered the implementation of the resolutions arising from a controversial Forum for Democracy and Development FDD party convention that endorsed Brian Munduvile as the party's presidential candidate under the Tonse Alliance. The court action follows a lawsuit filed by FDD National Youth Secretary Vincent Mwakawele against the party's Secretary General Nathan Mulonga, challenging the legality of the 9th March 2026 convention. In an ex parte order of interim mandatory injunction signed by Judge Salasini, the High Court has restrained Mulonga, either by himself or whosoever, from continuing to conduct political party activities or processes intended to implement constitutional amendments or leadership changes allegedly arising from a convention conducted in contravention of the FDD Constitution. The court has further ordered the defendant to convene a convention in line with the constitutional requirements of the party. Judge Salasini has since adjourned the matter to the 1st of July 2026 for inter-parties hearing of the matter. According to the statement of claim filed before the Lusaka High Court, Mwakawele argues that the disputed convention was held in violation of Article 13 and 14 of the FDD Constitution. He contends that Article 13 requires the party to circulate the agenda for a regular convention at least 3 months before the date of the gathering, while Article 14 mandates a 30-day notice period in the case of an extraordinary convention. Mwakawele alleges that despite those constitutional provisions, Mulonga proceeded to organize and hold the 9th March 2026 convention, where delegates allegedly discussed and approved amendments to the party constitution to allow Munduvile, who is also Tonse Alliance president and member of parliament from Porokoso, to contest the 2026 presidential election using the FDD ticket. Court documents further indicate that the resolutions and endorsements from the convention were subsequently circulated on party social media platforms. The plaintiff argues that the convention was illegally convened and that all constitutional amendments and decisions arising from it are therefore invalid. He has also accused Mulonga of continuing to implement resolutions from the disputed convention, including branding the FDD as an outfit of the Tonse Alliance and promoting Munduvile as the party's presidential candidate. Mwakawele further argued that the alleged constitutional breaches undermine members' rights to participate in party's processes and damage the integrity and reputation of the party during critical and crucial election period, where internal democracy is expected to be upheld. The lawsuit also states that efforts were made to resolve the matter amicably through a demand letter seeking the nullification of the convention and suspension of all related processes, but that the defendant allegedly failed to act on the request. In the action before the High Court, Mwakawele is seeking nullification of the 9th March 2026 convention and all constitutional amendments arising from it, invalidation of all alliances and processes founded and funded on the disputed gathering, an order compelling the party to hold a lawful convention in line with its constitution, an injunction restraining party officials from allegedly violating the constitution, and payment of all the legal costs. For Crown TV News, Anna Mwila in Lusaka.
The Examination Council of Zambia, ECZ, has revealed that 10 academic documents submitted by aspiring candidates ahead of the 2026 general elections were found to be forged or not genuine during the qualifications confirmation exercise. Speaking during the media briefing, Organization Executive Director Michael Chilala explains that the fake documents have since been reported to law enforcement agencies for further investigations and possible prosecution. Dr. Chilala describes the development as disappointing, stating that it was worrying that individuals aspiring for public leadership continued to submit forged qualifications despite the council possessing examination records dating back to the 1960s. More in this report.
The Examination Council of Zambia has uncovered 10 forged academic documents submitted by aspiring candidates seeking to participate in the 2026 general elections, raising fresh concerns over integrity among some political hopefuls. Speaking during the media briefing, ECZ Executive Director Michael Chilala says the fake qualifications were detected during the nationwide verification exercise conducted ahead of this year's general elections. Dr. Chilala says the forged documents have since been handed over to law enforcement agencies for further investigations and possible legal action. The revelations emerged as the council concluded its large-scale qualifications confirmation exercise, which ran from 27th April to 22nd May 2026, using the newly introduced 2026 election confirmation online system. According to Dr. Chilala, the exercise saw overwhelming participation from aspiring candidates across the country, forcing the council to extend the initial verification period by 11 days due to high demand for the service. And in total, the council issued 10,731 qualification confirmation letters, with 10,020 processed through the online platform, while 711 were handled physically through ECZ service centers. Meanwhile, the council has also expressed concern over the growing number of political aspirants losing their original academic certificates.
If you check the constitution, for the president, for the ward councillor, for the member of parliament, the statement is the same. And therefore, for us, our focus was to confirm whether you have a grade 12 certificate or the equivalent of the grade 12 certificate, without disaggregating whether you are aspiring for presidency or for parliamentarian seat or parliamentary seat or for being a councillor. So we didn't disaggregate.
Dr. Chilala disclosed that 334 replacement certificates were issued during the verification exercise after several aspiring candidates reported missing documents between 2021 and 2026.
So our reports are to the commission. And when the commission wishes us to take any further action, they inform us, and then we take that action, provided it is legal. So further clarifications on matters of persons who submitted their documents for verification, those can be directed to the Electoral Commission, because they are the appropriate people to use the information arising from this exercise.
For Crown TV News, Joy Mwinuka.
CrownTVZambia has pledged free airtime to women entrepreneurs to share their business success stories and inspire others. Speaking at the Women Creating Wealth Country Forum graduation ceremony, Chief Executive Officer CEO Mwape Kumwenda said the station remains committed to empowering women and giving a voice through its platforms. She encourages more women to come forward and tell their stories. More in this report.
For years, women across Africa have remained a driving force behind national development, demonstrating resiliency, innovation, and strong leadership. From entrepreneurship and agriculture to education and politics, women continue to transform communities and strengthen economies through their hard work and determination. Yet, despite these achievements, many inspiring success stories remain untold, leaving young and emerging entrepreneurs without examples to motivate and guide them. It is for this reason that CrownTVZambia has introduced a platform aimed at giving women entrepreneurs an opportunity to share their journeys and inspire others. Speaking during the Women Creating Wealth Country Forum graduation ceremony, Crown TV Chief Executive Officer Mwape Kumwenda said the initiative is designed to amplify the voices of women and celebrate their contribution to national development.
The narrative must change. We must feature women that share inspiring and motivating stories. And that's the reason why we have a program called Valor Woman. It brings a woman who has won through all her struggles. A woman like all of us here gathered, who have big businesses, big vision, to tell their stories. And why is it important for us to tell our stories? Whether we like it or not in this journey called life, if we don't tell our stories, somebody will tell the stories on our behalf. And it can only be you and me to tell the story better because you know it better. And that's why we offer this platform on Crown Television at a very good time, which is a prime time, at 20 hours, when people are watching TV, that you must tell those great stories. Have you ever imagined losing a life today and your story has never been told? People will come and tell your tributes. Others will even say what you are not.
Meanwhile, some graduates have welcomed the initiative, describing it as a timely and empowering platform that will encourage more women to participate in entrepreneurship and confidently pursue their goals.
It has really made a lot of impact and change in my life. The way I look at things, the way I also do my business, the way I interact with my clients, my customers and everything. So it's a whole lot of, it's a huge change actually.
The training overall has been very informative. They've helped us to really, as women, to really be confident and to really put ourselves out there and our businesses out there.
So it's really an important program to every youth specifically, because most youths are the ones that really struggle to stand alone, to defend what they have. So this program is one of those things that they can take advantage of.
Into a saloon business, I was just taking it as a hobby. I didn't know to say it's a business. Until I joined this program, that's when I learned to say it's also a business. I have to treat it like a business.
As women continue to break barriers and redefine success, platforms that celebrate their stories are expected to inspire a new generation of confident, ambitious entrepreneurs. Blessings Mkandewe reporting, Crown TV News, Lusaka.
Zambia is projected to record its highest ever maize harvest, according to the crop forecast survey released on 26th May 2026. Maize grain production is projected to exceed 4.9 million metric tons. ZamStats Statistician General Sheila Mudenda says the statistics presented are not just numbers, but a reflection of the country's agricultural landscape and the hard work of farmers across the nation. Mrs. Mudenda says the survey results indicate positive growth in major crops, with maize production projected to increase by 27.8% compared to 2024-2025 farming season.
Agriculture remains the backbone of Zambia's economy, with thousands of farmers depending on successful harvests for income, food security, and national economic growth. And after years of climate challenges, the country is now recording a major breakthrough, with projections pointing to the highest maize harvest in Zambia's history during the 2025-2026 crop forecasting survey. Speaking during the release of the results, ZamStats Statistician General Sheila Mudenda says the country is projected to produce more than 4.9 million metric tons of maize, representing 27.8% increase from last season.
The expected maize production is 4,937,000 metric tons, giving a 27.8% change between this season and the last season. We look at other positive moves. On the right there, on my top right, we see rice, which has risen to over 125%, soya beans over 70%, and also some negative moves in the seed cotton, negative 72%, sunflower, negative 44%, and cowpeas at negative 43%.
Zamstat says from the projections, Southern Province recorded the highest area planted under maize at about 495,000 hectares, followed by Central Province with about 450,000 hectares, while Lusaka Province recorded the least at about 69,000 hectares.
We see Southern Province having the highest, or rather the largest area planted to maize, estimated in Southern Province. Please take note that we will keep saying estimated for as long as this is the crop forecasting survey. These are all estimates, as estimated by the farmers themselves. And we see there, followed by Central Province, Eastern, and the lowest being Lusaka Province, having the smallest area planted to.
Meanwhile, Secretary to the Cabinet Patrick Kangwa says government remains committed to supporting farmers through irrigation, mechanization, financing, and expanded market access. He says Zambia now has enough maize stocks to meet local demand and increase exports within the region.
Statistics presented this morning are not just mere numbers. They represent the structural narrative of our agriculture landscape, providing the empirical foundation required to safeguard food sovereignty, promote agricultural resilience, and build a strong macroeconomic base. The crop forecast results just presented by the Statistician General indicate a positive trajectory, signaling another good season following the positive performance in the 2024-2025 agriculture season. I note with deep gratitude that the country has successfully secured 2 consecutive seasons of recovery and growth following the devastating climate-induced drought experienced during the 2023-2024 agriculture season.
And Millers Association of Zambia President Andrew Chintala says mealie meal prices are expected to reduce following the projected bumper harvest and increased maize supply on the market.
Prices have to start falling now in terms of the maize byproducts. So without any interferences, without any human interventions, prices must begin to respond. You know, what this food balance sheet has done is that it is speaking now to the markets. It has actually brought most of the concerns that were around what is the way forward. So in response to that question, definitely it's a given. Prices of mealie meal should begin to drop because of the figures that we have.
Reporting for Crown TV News in Lusaka, Chanda Mwango.
You are watching Crown TV Media News. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
June to 19th July, everything can wait. The FIFA World Cup 2026. Catch all 104 matches from as little as 255 kwacha. Only on DSTV.
As far as you're concerned, what is addiction?
An addiction comes in so many ways. Group influence, and then lack of having activities or productive programs to do.
So the thing that was keeping you busy was porn?
It was pornography, yes. The age of 18, that's the time when I started.
You were addicted to alcohol?
Yes.
But for you to have said that you were addicted, how bad was it?
It should be 6 years ago when I used to drink a lot. I feel like my brain couldn't work well, I couldn't think well, I couldn't just do anything.
At what age did you start drinking?
At a very young age, when I was 6.
Started drinking alcohol at 6?
Yes.
What are my girlfriends back?
I can say at least 5 or 6. Like kankara maning quite 1 week, kala monga pressure ngokana na one kum. So at least the parents had decided that since you are married better, nagala kona umbi wakati ale amfako.
Ngelina Mansanka, Wofuta, Chinaimba Nyabo, Wofunta, Pativana Tiusa, Baziga, Vanatiusa, Wofuta, Chinapatafuta, Chinaenda Nabo, Chinaona Nabo, Taimba Nabo, Hello, Njise, oh, Tiani Wachea. Tiani Wachea. Tiani Wachea. Tiani Wachea.
Katinga ka spoon ka salt ka jobo kafaka pamanje wambo penda ma Christos. I think ndi maezi.
Yani mwangarama mu industry. Well, to say the truth, trying to create a home for dancehall, because dancehall doesn't really have a home in Zambia, you know. Yeah. I'll say something. If I was a hip hop artist, okay, I can go and sign with Apa Iliso.
You find out that the manpower is number one.
Welcome back. We'll go straight into the sports news. Kenya head coach Benny McCarthy has warned that he will not suffer an 8-0 defeat against Bafana when the two sides meet in the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON qualifiers. Despite being one of the co-hosts of the 2027 edition alongside Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya, will still play the qualifiers. The Harambee Stars were drawn in Group D alongside South Africa, Guinea and Eritrea, with only one of the three teams set to qualify along McCarthy's team. The qualifying stage offers the great opportunity for McCarthy to prepare for the tournament and work toward finding his best squad. According to the Pulse Sports Kenya, McCarthy revealed in an interview how he intends to deal with the Bafana challenge, admitting it would be a tough task. The South African admitted that his home country is the favorite to win the group, but remains confident in his team's ability to compete. The former Cape Town City boss added that he was hopeful to avoid the same 8-0 humiliation he suffered against Senegal. Those are the stories we had for you on today's Midday News. Let's take a recap on the stories that made headlines. Residents storm Northwestern provincial offices over dairy farmland dispute. 29-year-old TikToker Waimi has been sentenced to 2 years imprisonment with hard labor. Zambia set for record maize harvest crop forecast to hit 4.9 million tons. McCarthy insists Kenya won't relive 8-0 nightmare against Bafana in AFCON 2027 qualifier. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a lovely day.